was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lennox is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me.
It's Teofimo Lopez, 11-0, 9 KOs. The best to do it right now in the game is to take over. Shout out to BN Boxing News.
Hey, Lewis Virginia, I've been welterweight champion of the world. Everybody go follow BN Boxing News.
Greetings, boxing fans. Y'all already know who this is. Y'all already know who this is. Damn. When I tell you a total mismatch, totally outclassed, Vasiliy Lomachenko totally destroys, and someone finally stops the ferocious George Kambosos in his own hometown of Australia. Vasiliy Lomachenko was making sure there was going to be no situation as the judge taking it from him. I mean, it was vicious. I mean, don't know if you guys had a chance to see it on last night, but it looked something like this.
Core Stevenson? I mean,
maybe
Davis?
next week, Navarrete. And
Body
there
shot.
we go.
Body shot. Force the knockdown in the 11th. As if the damage to the eye isn't enough, Loma says, take that to the body. And now he looks to close it. And he does. Lomachenko's a champion again.
I mean, vicious. Hell of a closeout. I mean, if you look at this entire fight as an entirety, Lomo had the most success while he was going forward, using his angles to land vicious shots on ferocious George Kambosos. I mean, George Kambosos had no answers no answers, I'm telling you, for Vasiliy Lomachenko. I mean, Lomachenko was too fast for him, was too clever for him. And I'm going to tell you something. He looked like he was totally prepared for George Kambosos, who just seemed to me as he was just a one-hit wonder. I mean, he just totally outclassed, man. I mean, the only success that George Kambosos had is when he had Lomachenko on the back foot. You know, outside of that, every time Lomachenko was coming forward, you know, with the feints and everything, he was just throwing off George Kambosos' rhythm. He was throwing him off. And I'll tell you a different thing about Lomachenko this time. He looked like he started off very fast. From rounds 1 through 5, he's usually a slow starter. But if you look at rounds 1 through 5, I think that Lomachenko won most of those. But Lomachenko did not have George Kambosos totally figured out until like the 5th round. After the 5th round, it was over for him, man. I mean, totally outclassed. Let me show you. If you look at the scorecards at the time of the stoppage, man, if you look at it, I mean, the judges had Lomachenko just, you know, winning. You know, George Kambosos may have gotten a round here or there. Only one judge gave George Kambosos 2 rounds. But outside of that, the other 2 judges gave George Kambosos only 1 round. The only round looked like two judges agreed upon was the 6th round. The 6th round, 2 judges gave it to George Kambosos. But outside of that, man, I mean, it was just a straight up a Lomo show. During the fight, looked like on Twitter, a fan or supporter said that they'll probably never see Lomachenko versus Tank Davis, and Tank responded that Lomachenko should be after Frank. Let him do what he got to do with Frank, and then Lomachenko's next. But there's a lot of people lined up with Lomachenko right now, man. I mean, if I'm not Navarrete, he's lined up to see, Lomachenko next. Shakur Stevenson is a possibility he's lined up to see Lomachenko next. So Lomachenko got a full schedule, boy, with this win right now. But it was a hell of a fight, but totally outclassed. I mean, just the footwork and just punch placements and just looking like the old Lomachenko, man. My only problem with this is everybody was saying, "Oh, Lomachenko looks old. Lomachenko looks old." Not this fight, but prior fights. But this fight, I heard nothing about his youth. He looked old when Devin beat him. But this fight right here, he's obviously found the fountain of youth. I hear you. It's the same old Lomachenko, just fighting, outclassing a fighter that wasn't up to his standards, period. Point blank. But like I said, great fight. I loved it. Lomachenko walked out the victor, with a body shot in the 11th round, TKO stoppage. That body shot took it all out of George Kambosos in his hometown, in front of a hometown crowd. And like I said, if you are casual, probably wasn't a nice fight for you until the 11th round. But for true boxing fans or boxing supporters, this was a great fight. You got to actually see these guys go at it. I would like to see George Kambosos coming forward more, putting Vasiliy Lomachenko on the back foot. I didn't see much of that. I want to see more of that. And I think if he would have done more of that, he would have more of a success rate, by trying to come forward and try to close the distance. But he didn't do much of that. And therefore, it was a total domination by Lomachenko. It didn't even look like George Kambosos belonged in there with him, But, hey, man, we got to see a nice fight tonight. Thanks to Top Rank. I appreciate it. But, like I said, total mismatch. I mean, just landing that well. I mean, just putting on a show. Looked very strong, very poised in there. I mean, just totally outclassing this guy. This guy, I had no answer. I mean, destroying. I mean, I'm gonna tell you the Lomachenko's left hand had a field day today. I mean, he tore up the right side of George Kambosos' face. I mean, bloody eyes. I mean, just tore him up. So it was a field day with the left. But at this point, on to the next, man. Let's see what's next for George Kambosos, man. Who would you like to see him fight? Like I said, there's Tank out there saying that he wants to see him next. Of course, Shakur Stevenson. And there's Navarrete. Navarrete got a little something he got to clean up right quick. But after that, we all know Navarrete's going to come out victorious. So we might as well go ahead and call a spade a spade. It's going to be out of Tank, Navarrete, or Shakur. Who would you like to see Lomachenko face next? And how you think those fights will fare out? That's the type of shit I want to hear. But outside of that, man, I think tonight was a very great night of boxing. I enjoyed every bit of it. And definitely think that Lomachenko has much more in the tank. And I'd like to see him some more. I think he got a lot more to show us. And, we're not going to use the age factor. We didn't use it tonight. Let's not use it going forward. If he gets outclassed by Navarrete, Tank Davis, or Shakur, we can't use these excuses to our advantages. But outside of that, man, I think it was an awesome fight, and I appreciate it. everyone who tuned in. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Man, this was my post-fight reaction. And I'm out of here.